we're here today to talk about our dual program. It's a shared program that myself and my colleague here, Dr. Kevin Gitonga from the School of Business, has put together. It's a program in workplace learning as well as in talent development. So we want to talk about what that means in terms of overall career goals and career orientations in the field. And then, kind of like, why do that work or study with us here at Webster, right? So we're entitling this a Career in Talent Development and Workplace Learning, fueled by Webster University. So just basic intro. My name is Basiyr Rodney. I am a faculty member in the School of Education here at Webster University. I'm also chair of the Department of Teacher Education. We have two departments in the school, and I'm chair of one of those departments. My work in education and training goes back more than 20 years now. I have been an educator in the K-12 setting, as well as I'm an educator in the higher education setting, as well as I've done training for professional groups of educators and teachers, as well as professional groups of people in different contexts, right? Different training contexts. I've created different training materials and different kinds of tools for training going back over these years. So that's my work in the field. My career interest obviously is in the world of training and development, but my core background is educational technology, which is where I have my degrees, as well as curriculum and instruction. So those are my areas. And Dr. Gitonga, can you go ahead and introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. So I'm Kevin Gitonga. I'm the program lead for the talent for this new program, the talent development and training. I've been in Webster teaching mainly human resource development and even communications and technology, as well as instructional design. My background, my training background is in human resource development. That's what I did my degrees in. And then in terms of my work, I'm an instructional designer by profession. So I've been in instructional design in both industry and also in the academic field. At some point, I used to work full-time for Webster, but now I also work for another organization outside as an instructional designer. In terms of my career interests, I'm interested in training and development of people, and mainly e-learning. So whether it's in the workplace, so in my current position at my workplace, I'm an instruction designer. I design curriculum that's either intended to that they need to perform at their work, but I also help to design content and curriculum for people who are for continuing professional development. So I'm also part of committees that are tasked with responsibility of building learning strategies in the workplace. So I have a wealth of experience in both industry and also from an academic point of view in the learning field, especially the professional development line of work. Again, also my interest also is also in just the development of people and how to create those learning spaces, whether it's in the workplace or learning environments, designing those learning environments that are intended to help people improve their performance and even just better themselves at a personal level. So that's kind of the passion that we brought when we were putting together this program. It's supposed to meet you at your point of need, right? And kind of you can align a lot of what the focus of the program is to your career interests. So did we want Jamila to introduce herself as well, or should we just proceed, Dr. Rodney?
I don't know. It would be nice if Jamila could. I'm not sure.
Yes, I'll be able to.
Thank you.
Yes, my master's is from Webster in management and leadership. I am currently a 911 operator for fire and medical. And so I do the training of the firefighters as well as the dispatchers. I've been doing this for 15 years. And I'm very interested in the training and development, but more so the e-learning. What I do now is bare basic as far as everything that I create. And so I would definitely love to get into the e-learning And currently I do curriculum design as well.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you for introducing yourself, and that is an awesome job. They make movies about your job, but you know that. So yeah, well, I think we can talk a little bit about the program as we have designed it, and kind of how we've thought about it. Kevin segued into it very well, right? That the idea for us is that on the one hand, it's about someone who is trying to figure out strategies and initiatives that to enhance the skills of their employees or the employees in the organization, and even beyond that, their own personal development as well, right? And to be able to kind of see learning in the enterprise as a continuous process, right? A process of acquiring and creating skill and transferring knowledge, sometimes impacting the whole enterprise, right? So it's a kind of holistic way of viewing yourself as a person in developing, as well as the people that you might be responsible for supporting and sustaining their development over time, right? So that's kind of how we kind of see that scope. We have just a small schema to just explain the kind of that process that we just described it. And just out of this conversation, I already think there are ways I would want to improve on this, right? But at the core of it is to figure out, well, what is it that an organization or an individual person needs, right? So what is the actual need? And then what kind of tools do we bring to bear to enhance those skills, to empower performance? And as we know that, especially with what's happening in our job market today, to have a kind of retention approach, right? We do a lot to develop ourselves as professionals, and we also do a lot if we're in the managerial level to develop other people. And so we always have to think about the ways in which we want to support them so that they feel whole as a part of the organization, so they can keep learning and then keep developing themselves, right? So that's kind of how we kind of conceptualize this cycle, which, like I said, it's already in development just out of this conversation alone. So Kevin, anything you want to add to that? Yes.
Yes, and I could add to that. So as part of your experience going through this program, specifically with the talent, or the one focusing on talent development, when you talk about identifying potential, we are helping you develop the skills and the competencies to be able to identify high potential individuals in your organization, right? Or even be part of the conversations within your organization on how you can be able to identify people with high potential. And then when we talk about enhancing skills, is that, okay, you identify individuals within your organization, how can they be improved, become better employees, better at whatever they do, right? So we provide you with skill sets on how you can be able to train them, develop training, develop learning environments for them, so that they'll be able to develop on improve on those skills. And then we also help with kind of when we talk about empowering and performance. Some of our when we talk about improving performance, we have a course that is entirely dedicated to improving, focusing on performance improvement, right? How do you help people become better now that they've learned the skills? How do they transfer those skills and apply them into their work, right? And just through the process of retention, when anybody, just like anybody else, when you get appreciated in your work, you feel recognized, you feel like you're providing value to your work environment, your chances of staying in that environment are higher. And so that's one of the things what's one of the major contributions that talent development as a strategic approach contributes to any organization, and that's where you bring your value as an expert in talent development. Okay, that's perfect. You can go ahead.
Yeah, this one is repetitive. I say we go on to courses. This one.
Okay.
Yeah. So in terms of and again, thank you, Jamila, for helping us think through this. By the way, right? Because this is the first time we're doing this presentation, and if you know Kevin and I, a part of what we naturally do is we reinvent while we're working, right? So a part of what you brought out for us, and we want to point out, is a lot of what we do is actually focused on that e-learning approach in multiple ways. But the two obvious ways are, number one, you're in an online program at Webster, and a part of what we work with students to understand, especially in this new role you might be taking on in terms of that training role is to see how we design things, right? So we're supposed to be designing in a way that is enriching you. And so you're learning from our approach to design, at least that approach, how you might want to design things moving forward. In addition to that, in the courses that you're doing, so like this first course, instructional development, is an instructional design course. It's about designing, right? So we're teaching you the skills, the concepts and skills related to designing instruction. And notice how many times Kevin says environments, because we fully recognize that we're really designing for any kind of environment, the online environment, the on-ground environment. Nowadays, with some of the new tools and technologies coming, virtual environments, right? So we lead with that. We walk into that, right? And so if you look at these courses, a lot of them are kind of built this way. How we've done it is you're really getting 2 credentials for one. So this side is the certificate side. A lot of it is built in the School of Education and focuses on the learning aspect of it and the adult development, some of the conceptual parts. And then we'll talk about the talent development side on the next slide, right? Kevin, you want to throw anything out there on this one?
No. Thank you. Great introduction. And also, one other thing I could add is this one thing I like about the certificate program is that it provides the skill set, the practical and technical skill set, and also creates the opportunities to practice and to try something, or to try and develop something. So it's very practical. You learn the concepts at the beginning, and as you advance in the certificate, you develop certain skills. You get the chance to do something. You can even, as part of the program, end up developing a portfolio for yourself that you can be able to use as you're going out into the workforce. So it's very practical from that perspective.
Absolutely. And we were very thoughtful in our design of that. So if you look at the master's itself, and I just colored in red those courses that are still inside of the certificate, the ones in black are the other parts of the master's degree. One of the things we've intentionally tried to do is to make sure that every class you create something, right? You are creating things. You're not just talking about the creation. So, in the coaching course, you're working on a profile, right? A portfolio and a profile, a kind of maybe a LinkedIn profile, a social media profile from the professional standpoint, because we understand that a part of your development is going to be how you coach others, but how you also are coached and how you project yourself publicly. So all of these courses will have practical aspects related to them. All right, Kevin?
Yes. And the way the talent management program is organized, from the beginning, we introduce you to the key concepts, as you can see here. In 5,000, TDEV 5,000, the Introduction to Talent Development, and also ORDV 5,000, which is the practice of organization development. The two of them are very, organization development and talent development work, they apply the same way, so we are kind of bring them together. We bring those the understanding and the key concepts, you get introduced to them at the beginning. And then we kind of gradually start working up towards understanding yourself, self-mastery, because you cannot develop something. You cannot be able to train others if you don't understand what yourself. You don't understand how to be able to, how you learn, so that how you can be able to help. You can only help others if you understand yourself, right? And then now we introduce you now to the concepts, the instructional development. That's instructional design class. You start learning about the key concepts about learning, right? And what are the most appropriate ways or most effective ways to design learning, and specifically in an online environment or e-learning, right? And then when we talk about foundations of workplace learning, so we take you into an organization, right? And why is learning important, right? How do you create those environments for people to learn, right? And continue developing themselves. And then, like anything else, you can only understand the effectiveness of training once you're able to evaluate it. So we also teach you, provide you with some tools and strategies on how you can be able to evaluate the learning experiences that you're developing, right? So that you're also, one of the good things about this class 5140 is that you're able to show value to your organization, right? If you design a learning experience, you're able to measure it. You can show that to your organization. This is actually the impact of the training that I'm providing, that I'm developing, right? So we provide you with that skill set. But then also in 5500, it's about career talent and career development. Here it's about, you know, advancing in your career. So if you are going to help, if you provide people with training, then you also need to help them identify those opportunities within the organizations, right? So they'll be able, we have some assessments that they're able to do in this class, that you're able to do or even develop, you do in this class, that help you understand how do you gauge my career, how do you gauge yourself in terms of a career, what competencies do I have, what do I want to become, and what skill set do I need to develop to get to that point. So we kind of help you plan, put together a career plan in a way that you will be able to take that skill set and also apply it in your organization if you are going to be once you get into the industry. The creative media design, as we talked about earlier in the certificate program, as we were talking about the certificate program, is part of the practical aspects that we introduce. So the master's program is kind of very balanced in terms of giving you the key skills and the competencies that you need to be a practitioner, but also introduces you to the strategic aspects of talent development. So the other courses that you're seeing around here help you to make a contribution to your organization, help you to be part of the conversations, to be able to be an advocate for talent development and learning within the organization, because now you understand the bigger picture, right? You're able to participate in those conversations and align your learning, the learning goals, or even the talent development goals. You're able to align them with the overall strategy of the organization. So you're able to participate in those conversations, because now you have a good understanding of what that entails. If you remember the cycle that we had, we talked about performance improvement. So in 5700, we introduced you to how you can be able to help people, employees or individuals within your organizations, how you can be able to help them, improve their performance through coaching. Right, and we provide you with the skills and strategies there. We also equip you in 5800 with some research skills. So I actually engage in research, because if you are going to present a proposal to your organization on a learning strategy or a training, you need to back that with information. You need to back that with data. So in 5800, we help you learn the skills on how you can be able to gather, manage data, or organize information that can help you build your case to whether it's to present a proposal on a learning strategy, evaluate, manage the data that you're getting from your evaluations, and be able to present a good case with regard to a learning strategy. But also even for you to be able to understand, what the impact of your training is. And one of the things that we enjoyed the most as we were putting this class with Dr. Basiyr is 6000 was, it kind of brings everything together, right? One of the things that you get from this program is that in 6000, you will bring together some of the artifacts, some of the things that you developed in 5000, in 5500, and then in 5600, and then you put together all that into a portfolio that you can use when you're going out into the workforce, right? You can use that, you can share that with your potential employers, you can show them what you can do, right? And that should give you an edge over many other programs, because you'll be able to show, this is what I did, right? I did this as part of my class project, and this is how I can be able to connect some of this learning experience, some of these things that I put together, some of my competencies, how I can be able to apply them to some of the needs that you have in your organization. So it helps you have something to negotiate with, or even just to show your value to your organization, to your potential organization or potential employer. Dr. Basiyr, do you have anything to add there?
No, that was very good. I think there's a very thorough overview of just the courses and the course orientation. So I think this is a good time to take questions if Jamila has any, or if Yupa has anything she wants us to tease out. But thank you again for hearing us out, and I hope you're as excited as we are to have put this together and offer it through Webster.